Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Pass it on to anybody else who might like it, and don't forget to drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read some of my previous favorite comments. And maybe one of your comments from the past is one of my favorites. So I don't even know how this video is going to turn out. I'm just going to talk. Every time I talk to Goddess, or I talk to the spirits, or I talk to the angels, and I say, what do I say? They just say, talk. And I'm like, okay. Now you may have to go on here, guys. But what I wanted to talk about today is for those of you who, I don't think anybody in the world doesn't know what's going on right now in the United States. I guess if you're in Antarctica or under a rock or something, you might not have heard about it. But right now, there's a great deal of racial tension going on in the United States. A black man, George Floyd, was murdered by the police. And it was caught on videotape. And the officers involved were fired, and one of them was arrested. This incident ignited a community who was already in some really difficult circumstances. COVID-19 was already really causing havoc on the entire United States, and especially in the people of color communities. So on top of all of that, this man is murdered, and protesting and looting and rioting and violence exploded all over the country. And I heard it was even protests in London. I'm not sure if it was anywhere else, but I definitely heard London. So a lot of people text me over the weekend, and basically they all, black people, white people, brown people, Asian people, a lot of different people text me over the weekend because I know a lot of different people. And oddly enough, they're all asking the same question. It was very interesting to me. Everybody wanted to know, what are we supposed to do? What do we do about this? There was people crying, a lot of crying. I was crying. There was a lot of crying, and a lot of anger. A lot of people are frustrated because this keeps happening. Anybody who's following United States history will be able to tell you that we've had racial tension since the beginning. Since they stole African people from the continent all those years ago, ever since the beginning, literally the beginning, there has been racial tension in the United States. And every so often, something else happens. Something else goes on. Some other massacre. Somebody else is murdered. There's another incident of brutality. Or every so often, another racist event happens. And it sparks up all over again. Then it dies down for a little while. Then something else happens, and it sparks up all over again. So here we have the latest thing that happened, and I think something happened a couple weeks, and I think it was like several incidents. I think it was a woman who was killed. If I'm not mistaken, there was a female, black female, and if I'm not mistaken, there was another guy. But there was all this racially motivated stuff, which had to have been fed by the fact that also on top of that, everybody's under stress from being in quarantine. So it was the perfect, mixture for a bomb to explode. So people come to me and say, okay, Queen, what are we supposed to do? And I tell everybody, regardless of their race, their class, their creed, their gender, their sexuality, you have two choices in life. You can be part of the solution, or you can be part of the problem. If you want to be part of the problem, there's nothing I can say to you. It is what it is. But if you want to be part of the solution, regardless of who you are, what you have to do is look at the situation and see, what lane, what can you, they say, what lane can you be in? What can you contribute is the question. So we all know we need to do something to stop this. We need to do something that this doesn't keep on going on. We need to stop this institution of racism. This is an institution. It's not just one little incident. It's all of it. It's a culture of racism. And everybody isn't racist. Everybody isn't involved in it. Everybody's not hating on each other. But it's enough of an institution that it happens. Over the weekend, I posted a list of all the covert and overt ways that racism lives in the United States. So if we want to be part of the solution, we have to find a way to dismantle the system. It's not just one thing. It's not just one place. It's not just one person. We all, those of us that want to be part of the solution, those of us from every race, class, gender, whatever, those of us who want to be part of the solution have to come together. Period. We have to come together and say, okay, it's time for us to find a way collectively to fix this problem. Because historically, that's not what's happening. Historically, something pops off, everybody gets upset, there's riots, there's fights, there's all kind of stuff that goes on, and then it dies down until the next thing happens. So what we have to do is make sure the next thing doesn't happen. We have to make sure that our people, the ones who want to be part of the solution, work together to change things. Now, mind you, I'm Aquarius and I'm very idealistic. So I can see this beautiful vision of black and white and brown and old and young and gay and straight people all working together to have a better nation. So what I'm saying is that those of us who want to be part of the solution, we have to work together. And then we have to work in the areas that make us feel comfortable. So one person's response to this may be to protest. Another person's response to this may be to write letters. Another person's response may be to bail people out of jail who are, it's like 5,000 people in jail right now, and I'm sure all of them don't have bail money. It's different things that we can do. Everybody can pick and choose what they feel comfortable doing and then do that. Some people, like myself, can just use our platforms to tell people how this is wrong and we need to work against it together. We all have different ways and we all have different platforms. We all have different, ideas. For some of us, it's just talking to our friends. If you see your friends being racist or being, bigots in any way, if my friends are bigots in any way, I speak on it. They might get mad about what I said. They might not like what I said. And in a lot of cases, we're not even friends no more. But I said what I said and you heard what I said. So we all have to figure out what way we're comfortable with and work towards that on a personal level. On a macro level, we have to work to continue that work. Because after a while, remember I said this only lasts for a little while, then everything is done. But what's the next step? The next step is politically, legally changing these systems. And again, we have to do this together. So that's the big picture. But as a personal, the little picture, which is important too, because you got to look at yourself as an individual. If you've spent the weekend crying, you spent the weekend upset, you spent the weekend watching this crap on TV, you got to do things for yourself too. You got to come away from the computer. You got to come away from the TV. You got to give yourself some time to relax. You got to stop talking about it for a couple hours. You got to do some meditations. You got to take your mind off the situation for a little while. I'm not saying you're going to escape it because you're not going nowhere. But just sitting there. I know people who have been just sitting there watching the news, talking on Facebook, and they're saturated with disinformation. They're saturated with these negative images. They're saturated with racists making snide remarks. They're saturated with people yelling and screaming. I've seen so many angry posts on Facebook, Instagram. I've seen more than I've seen in a long time. You got some people that are policing other people's behavior and telling people how they should be responding. It's not your business how somebody else responds to oppression. Your business is to not be part of the problem, to be part of the solution. And I've seen that from all races. Oh, they should do it this way. They should do it that way. What way? I've seen everything tried at least 3-4 times in my lifetime. So it's not our job to police other people's responses. It's our job to work within our little, our little universe, our little aura, our little, our little, whatever you want to call your space. It's our job to work within our space, to do what we can to affect positive change without harming, criticizing, or judging other people. So, what should you do? That's what you should do. But start with yourself. Start with calming yourself. Start with relaxing yourself. You make better decisions when you're grounded and you're centered. And then think to yourself, what can I do to influence positive change? What can I do to make sure that there is not another Trayvon Martin? What can I personally do to make sure this institution of white supremacy is abolished? What can I personally do? Regardless of who you are, regardless of your race, regardless of your age, you can do something. And that has to be your question. What can I do to help? What can I do to be part of the solution? Because that's what we need right now, people. We need solutions. Okay? Tomorrow, I am going to do a reading on this situation. And I'm going to, I wanted to do it today before I did this video, but today was crazy, as you can imagine. So tomorrow, I'm going to take the time to sit and do a reading on this. And we'll talk a little bit about it further. But for now, I just wanted you guys to know that we need to talk solutions. Okay. All right, now let's get some comments going on. Luz Lopez, my girl, who receives a lot of hearts from me, said that I have been feeling so depressed about this and other personal issues that I literally stay in my room. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is bad. And I admit I was so sad yesterday because somebody sent me a meme and it said that George Floyd called out to his dead mother as he was being murdered. And it hit me in my chest because all I could think of as a mother, and any of you who have children or love a child can imagine your baby being murdered and calling out for you. And all I could see was my child's face. So I spent Sunday in tears. So I understand how this can leave you feeling depressed and feeling sad. And that's why I said you have to allow yourself relief from it. You have to allow you're going to be, that's why I said find a way to productively work on it. Because if you can find something productive that you can do, donating or whatever the case is, while at the same time, on the other side, you're allowing yourself to breathe. You're allowing yourself to meditate. You're allowing yourself to not be saturated with it. It'd be perfect because on one hand, you're doing something. You're part of the solution, but you're not depressed and in your bedroom and under the covers, you know? So that's why I recommended that. And I totally understand what you mean, Luce. And I want you to think about what I said. Think about meditating. Think about taking a shower. Think about coming away. You know, some of us may need to talk to a grief counselor or a therapist. You might just want to call a friend. Whatever. You know, allow yourself some relief, because it's going to be a long, like I told my friend, I'm like, it's going to take us a while to work this out. So if you stress yourself out right now, it's going to be more difficult for you to be part of the solution later. Okay? So you got to pace yourself and breathe. Karen Parker. Hi, I'm Aquarius dealing with a Sagittarius for 6.5 years. But it's a 3-party. And I keep asking him why he keep lying. Now I'm ready to ghost him, but I can't shake him. And you know what's interesting about this to me? People say this to me a lot. They'll say, I can't get rid of this person, or I can't shake this person. And the truth is that, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I've been stalked a lot, okay? You can shake this person. But what it is that you keep engaging with this person. Like, let's just keep it on real, keep it on the table. If you can't get rid of somebody, it's because you're still engaging with them. You're answering them or responding to them in some way, shape, or form. And therein lies your problem. If you really want somebody to go bye-bye, stop engaging with them. The more you engage with a stalker, the more you engage with a person who you can't shake, the more you encourage them. So if you want them to go away, don't respond to them at all. Now, some people are going to be more difficult than others. I'm not even going to hold you. Some people will walk faster than others. But if you don't respond to them, you don't have to worry about it. It took me years to shake Voldemort, seriously. He was bugabooing, playing on my phone, sending me crazy emails. But I shook him eventually. And it's been other times too. I got somebody right now that's doing it. And I just keep on ignoring her. Eventually you will shake that person. But if you encourage them, they're going to keep coming back because they know you'll eventually answer. So if it's a 3-way and he a liar and things aren't going well and you want to get ghosts, tell him bye-bye. Don't even bother ghosting him. Just tell him, look, it's over. Don't call me no more. And then block him on everything. Email, telephone, cell phone. Block him on Cash App. Block him on everything. And never respond to him again. And he'll leave you alone. Eventually, in most cases, I'm not going to say every case, but in most cases, when somebody has handled it that way, the person eventually goes away because they're not getting any attention. As long as you respond, you get upset, you cuss them out, you yell at them in text, whatever, as long as they're getting any kind of attention, positive or negative, they're going to keep doing it. Once they can't get attention, that's when they'll go away. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.